Clearing. Okay, so today's going to be a Spine of Fire chakra reading. Oh, I got a new prop. Check it out. If you haven't already, subscribe. My friend 3D printed this for me. Yeah. Boom, boom. Seriously though, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I put my videos for 18 and over, just, you know, so I don't think my things get out there as much, so we need the algorithms to help them. I don't know. Anyways, let's have a look at what we've got. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for the beautiful Conscious Love Collective that joins me here? What is it that is the most relevant to focus on regarding each of the chakra levels at this time in the energy? How are the feminines and the masculines navigating the main themes we are dealing with at this time? What does it look like for each? Any kind of extra energy or information we can get? So the crown chakra first, but let's get into feminine cards. What is it we can see? How are the feminines understanding the energy, processing it? What is the information they need to know? Yeah, that's how we'll do it. We'll get the first deck is going to be for each counterpart, what they're experiencing. The second deck, advice for that counterpart. And the masculines. And advice. Oh, I'm being asked to do this as the first deck and the other one as advice. Okay, I will listen to that. All right, so crown chakra, we are getting chakra Kabbalah. This is so funny when this happens because this is the tree of life. This represents the chakras. Spiritual path, life lessons, and karma. So we're having a really clear picture of what is our karma now. Crown chakra is our connection to source. And so through that lens, that profound connection to source, or that accountability, we can really see what is of lower vibrational nature and what is more eternal or love-based. Okay, so we're getting the 3 of Cups and blockage. This is literally third-party situations. So what I'm getting here is that everybody in the collective does have the ability to know what third energies are no longer serving, are all based in karma. And so, you know, in these divine love connections, it's monogamous, it's perfect match. We're talking about true love around here. If you don't believe in that, these readings probably aren't for you. Or if you haven't found it yet, they might be for you. But the ultimate goal is fidelity, monogamy, perfect match, true love, and finding that 1000% partner. And this is how we do it. Crown chakra, this is profound wisdom, knowing what doesn't serve and why those third energies aren't a perfect match, by contrast to the divine counterpart or the real match that we're being evolved towards here. Yeah, there's a blocking out of third energies. What can we see for the divine feminines? Knight of Cups. So this is forgiveness, it's apologies, it's forgiveness of self and others. So the feminines are very much processing other love offers, when they've offered other love offers, other suitors coming forward to them, their counterpart. This is like a very, if it's not in alignment with me, if the timing's not right, if somebody's not choosing me, I'm just going to keep calm and carry on kind of thing. What else can we see? Yeah, so the advice, feminines, is to go to your altar. Go, if you don't have an altar, that's not literal, but go into that holy of holies inside of you and ask to be shown how you can unhook from jealousy, competition, lack, scarcity, and know that you're worthy of love, and get rid of all the backup plans, get rid of all of the ideas that you need to be concerned about if a particular masculine you're traveling with is interested in other people. That's a developmental stage where we don't know ourselves well enough to partner with somebody who's actually a match for us. And so we experiment with a lot of different energies. This is you going internally feminines and refining so that you know what you are ready for, and therefore you can be ready for it when it arrives. But this knowledge of clarity coming in on the crown chakra, that you don't have to, be unconditionally loving by putting up with something less than what makes your soul sing. So if there are other people involved for you or your counterpart, that's fine. That's a very human way of processing energy. But don't get all emotionally in a knot about anything. Really tell yourself that doesn't turn you on and let go. If your counterpart is still entertaining other ideas, let go. Know that you are worthy of the real thing and tap into what that is first person so that you can believe that somebody will be that perfect match for you. Believing is seeing. What about the masculines? How are they experiencing this? Strength. So the shadow aspect of strength, where somebody's trying to force the masculine to open up, that can be a very karmic mode. In this way, there's an opening up that's effortless here. But in the upright, the masculines are going to learn whatever these karmic energies are that are being released are more of this combative, competitive, imbalanced kind of way of relating is what I'm getting. And by contrast, they're going to see you, divine feminine, as somebody who has never applied force in a way that is insecure or uncertain. Usually when we try to convince others to do what we want, it's because we've got some kind of an insecurity, a void we're trying to fill. If you're good on your own, you just want things that are aligned. So the masculines are seeing that contrast with the karmic games. I'm seeing a domino effect of the way that karma imprints all of us and how we outgrow it when we stop playing the games. And so the masculines are seeing through the karmic feminine games. And also, I think by default they're also seeing how they've played games with the feminine, divine feminine, because they've been trying to bring consciousness to those game playing modalities that they've experienced in karmic relationships. So I do feel there's some accountability coming in for how the masculines have treated the feminine. A couple of years ago, I was getting the theme that the feminines needed to come into the awareness, or it was being revealed to the feminines that the masculines treat the feminines how they allow their karma to treat them. So that doesn't have to be in romantic relationships. It can be in business or family or whatever. But it was a chain, a pecking order that was being handed to the divine feminines, and the divine feminines were transmuting that. Now I'm seeing the masculines coming first person into this awareness. So they're connecting the dots between how the karmic partner, karmic friends, karmic family, karmic business associates have treated them, and therefore they are starting to see how that has influenced these connections where that kind of game playing is not warranted. So I'm getting the masculines will be cleaning up their act and treating the divine feminines differently, because it's not just a continuation of a karmic pecking order. Yeah, the advice is, masculines, pull the swords out of your heart. Those karmic ways hurt. They hurt you. They come from hurt. Karmic partners treat you that way. Hurt people, masculines. So don't pass that on. The cards are so great. Like, seriously, high fives in the comments if you think tarot is so cool. Seriously. But yeah, masculines, the buck stops here. Don't treat your feminine the way karma has treated you. Oh my gosh. I heard bitches. In my head, it might have been me. But anyways, okay, so third eye. What are we getting for the collective? Stand still, suspended animation, and holding space. So there is a pause while this intuitive process takes root in the conscious mind of the counterparts. We've got, nice, we've got life purpose, passionate new beginning. This intuitive flicker, it's like a candle flickering in the third eye. When this karma buck stopping, or as the karmic buck stops, there's this glimmering flicker of the new timelines coming in that are with the feminine. For you, divine feminines, this is still, not letting any of the balancing act with your counterpart influence your progress on your life path. Keep going forward to the things you're meant to channel in, the healing, the messages, the modalities, the progress, the books I just heard, and divine timing. So this is a necessary pause in the energy so that we can integrate intuitive lessons right now. For the feminines, it's to get you forward facing on your life path, and masculines, you too. But this is also about removing your energy from karmic situations and focusing on the feminine. So this connection is going to move forward in divine timing when both are balanced in those regards. Feminines with life purpose, masculines with removing karmic choices. How are the feminines experiencing this? Two of Wands, victory. So yeah, you're making a choice to go forward in the full knowledge of your twin flame becoming, but at the same time, you're going to be victorious in your life right now on this purpose. This Ace of Wands, you've got to do your half of the due diligence here, feminines, and your masculine's going to meet you on that road around the corner once they've cleaned out their karma. But what is the advice for the feminines? Five of Orbs, this is my card of free will. So yeah, you ultimately only have yourself to be accountable to and your connection to source, feminines. So this is why it takes two, and you're going to meet in this alignment when you're both fully accountable, but you holding your own for life purpose right now. At the end of the day, you're only self-sabotaging if you don't continue bringing through and making the progress that you're meant to do. Don't wait to be in union with your masculine to get on with your missions and things like that. Partly why we don't come into union with a true counterpart until we've established that and reached our potential is because whenever we connect or consummate a connection, that's like saying, that's as far as we need to go developmentally in some regards. Think about people who get together and then they never fulfill their talents, their gifts. They give that up and they leave it and they lose themselves. So this is part of you becoming someone who won't lose yourself. You don't have to be perfect at your life path, but the discipline to stay the course needs to be integrated prior to coming into union, so that you don't get off track once you come into union. And so this is a short-sighted energy, teeter-totter versus long-term. So feminines, keep your sights on the long-term big picture. When you look back at the end of your life, you're going to be glad that you stayed the course with your independent things right now. Because that foundation, you're never going to have single time to dive into it like this again. You're going to be wanting to make love, feminines. So just sink into your projects right now. Time flies when you're having fun. Really let your heart sing and have that fun, feminines. Okay, what can we see for the masculines? How they are experiencing this intuitive space. Nice, Six of Pentacles. So masculines are really understanding their value and what they have to bring to the table is what I'm getting here. So masculines, this is a reworking of your energetic contribution and your material realm contribution. So for some, you finally have reached some financial goals and you have enough to bring into these relationships. For some, you're starting to see that it's this energetic currency that you can really offer, the wisdom that you've gained from your karmic rite of passage. That is the true gold that you can offer into these connections. And that abundant mindset is going to create abundance in this connection, because you're going to have a partner that can meet you on those energetic terms. You're not going to be overcompensating for karma anymore. What can we see for advice for the masculines? Yeah, keep doing the inner work, masculines, regarding the sweet balance between energetic currency and material realm, as within, so without. So your abundance is set to go to the next level as you get these internal understandings of what the real gold is. Your time, your resources. You've felt like you've had to protect yourself, I just heard, masculines, because karmic situations batter you. There is an insatiable, never good enough, jump through a hoop, higher, 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 higher. That's not what's going to happen in divine feminine connection with you. I heard a little thing this morning that said, I misjudged myself as an introvert. I just didn't feel good around the people I was putting myself into the mix with. And that's like karma, masculines. That's not all relationships, and that is certainly not a divine feminine. So yeah, you're safe to really go deep right now while you have this spaciousness or this preparation for union, masculines, and really value your soul and your heart and your kindness and your love, because that part of you that you are fed up with trying to share with others is going to be exponentially creative in a connection like this. It's going to be so good, masculines. Yeah, so do the work to tell yourself it's not relationships that cause that kind of struggle. It's the particular type of connections you've been trying to force to work, or that you've been trying to meet the unrealistic expectations of, masculines. What can we see for the throat chakra? Artistry, expression, community, and celebration. So this does talk about this connection being influential in community right now, whether that's direct or indirect. I'm getting the feeling that the wisdom that we're all learning can be shared with community. It doesn't mean you're sharing your connection with counterpart or the details or the names of your people. That might still be on the down low, but the wisdom that's being gained is influencing. But for some, there will be this community understanding that you two are associated in some regard, business, friend. Something might be going to the next level where people cannot, they won't be, it won't be a secret affiliation anymore in some way. So there's going to be celebration. For some, this is festivities, this is gatherings, this, you name it, however that resonates. I'm getting things that you know about, surprise encounters, and things that the counterparts are orchestrating behind the scenes. There's something about just feeling a whole different slew of energies and murmuring behind the scenes right now within each counterpart and into friend groups, business groups. There's something brewing is what I can feel. Let's get more on this. Okay, the connection is secure, but there is still this heartache. The heartache is what has prevented these connections from being more commonplace and from being fully recognized as the love of a lifetime kind of things. There is a sure foundation, but the heartache still needs to be cleared. So with any transition, there are stages. And so there is some communication about bringing this connection into public knowledge, into community, so it can begin to positively influence. There are certain things that can only be healed when you're in proximity or respective relationship to another. That doesn't mean in romantic relationship, but when things are solo, you can only go so far. There are certain healing energies that are applicable to relationship and dynamics within community. And so we're starting to see emerging the healing that transcends the individual healing and moving into a larger network and into I'm getting a platonic sense, but that doesn't mean that you're not attracted to each other, counterparts out there. It just means that there are energetics about dynamics and interpersonal relationships that are being stabilized. These connections are an example for community that is worthy of celebration because there's a firm foundation in whatever regard you do have with this counterpart. This is a diplomatic energy I'm feeling that's going to help kind of, I'm hearing chieftain. The counterparts are going to act as mediators, moderators, energetic stabilizers, and specifically when coming into more influence through the wisdom that's been gained, even without mentioning direct affiliation with the counterpart, or with the knowledge that the two are friends or business colleagues or working together or some kind of an arrangement like that, there's going to be a teamwork happening in your social circles or business circles or family groups or things like that because of having two high frequency beings in the environment or the reality of this community. Take it how it resonates. That's beautiful. So this communication is brewing. So that means counterparts, you might be having an increase of direct communication about something overlapping into these community groups. That's so exciting. That means it's grounding in the physical, people. So don't be hung up on like the be all end all union, but really enjoy the process, the journey, the becoming. Be accountable with every step that you overlap. And as you emerge into the material realm, revel in all of it, everybody. Just really appreciate it. What you appreciate grows. So this is where we can foster a firm foundation and begin. I'm seeing a vacuum. I heard hoovering up the heartache around. I just told that was for the British crew that watch me here. How are the feminines navigating this? Princess of Pentacles, right? So feminines, you are noticing this material realm opportunity emerging, the things that are coming into alignment. And I'm hearing, pay attention to how your life path and your sovereign choices are bringing you one step at a time into alignment with this community that you're crossing the threshold into. Advice, Two of Orbs. So don't fully disclose your plans, so yeah, it's kind of like need to know basis right now, feminines. Keep it sweet, short, and simple, and don't overly divulge. There are some on the down low here that you can be more transparent with, but for this motion into community, this is a very all business kind of mode here. So we've got, it's okay to, this is not two-faced, feminine. So that's really interesting because as you come into community, you don't have to do a trauma response that overly shares things. You don't have to overly divulge. Those you trust, yes, you can be a little bit more transparent. But for the world to see, this is where you are more private, more accountable, more trustworthy with the inner circle versus the public awareness. And that's okay to have that. You don't have to, there's a transformation. I'm looking at the bear. There's a transformation about what you feel you have to, what you owe others or not. Your business is not needing to be aired. You know, some love isn't boastful is what I'm hearing. And in the past, there's two sides of that coin. Sometimes you feel like it's disarming if there's a trauma response to overly divulge so that you're not hiding anything from anyone, so your conscience is clean. But that can add a really backbiting karma. So it's not healthy to do that. Likewise, you don't have to be boastful and looking for recognition by making the affiliation with your counterpart everybody's business about town kind of thing. So yeah, really nice message, feminines, in walking that masterful line of what is appropriate and what isn't. Masculines, how are you? Okay, Knight of Swords, we're getting communication for masculines too. Okay, there's a lesson for masculines. This is a little bit of a heavier feeling. I'm getting that masculines, you've also got to be on the flip side of this. So feminines, you're really seeing how this need to know basis is supporting you, and how you are in a discernment of not reaping negative karmic backlash, because you're learning when and where to communicate. And this is a card of communication for the masculines, but it's like the masculines, there's a warning here, masculines. There's a warning for you to either not be in such scarcity with your feminine, because this is the good feeling communication, and this is sort of like death energies, dead end stuff. So you're going to need to start communicating a little bit more, masculines, because things aren't feeling good to you. It's like a stingy energy here. So there's something about you beginning to communicate more with your feminine, but you know, you're going to start being looked at as a little bit funky or weird or awkward by people if you're not more normal with your feminine. And that's not a criticism. You know, the feminines have gone through this rite of passage where they've had to become very brave with communicating from their heart. And this is where you're going to be cracked open to communicate from your heart and be more genuine and authentic, so that people aren't going to be like inadvertently, like, your love for your feminine, your affection for your feminine is going to stand out like a sore thumb. More so, masculines, if you have a reverse prejudice for them as this community knowledge comes in. If you downplay, if you try to take the vibrancy out of your knowledge of feminine, everybody's going to be like, why is that person so hard on divine feminine? Why is that person so like critical, or not necessarily directly critical, but why isn't that person jazzed about divine feminine? We all love divine feminine. What's wrong with this guy? That's the vibe I'm getting here. So be careful, masculines, where your aloofness or where your caution is causing a sore thumb, sticking out like a sore thumb kind of downplaying. Be more life affirming and free flow, more practical, more real about the value that divine feminine has, because as the connection comes out into the physical, this kind of scarcity, secrecy, stingy energy is going to give off an opinion that you don't love your feminine, and you might want to check that. It doesn't have to be a romantic love, but your divine feminine is an extraordinary person, and running the risk of, tarnishing your character for being lame about your divine feminine here, like, loosen up. You can love your feminine as a friend. You can celebrate the soul they are without fearing that people are automatically going to tease you. I'm hearing divine masculine and divine feminine sitting in a tree. KISS. So without your friends bugging you, you can still celebrate the person that your divine feminine is, without, tipping them off that you might feel a little some kind of way more than you're ready to share. So tender message, masculines. I'm seeing like partridges pretending they have a broken wing so the fox doesn't get their feminine. So that's another message. You might be worried that if you tip off your bros to how much you love your divine feminine, that they might go for your feminine before you're ready to. So yeah, feminines, there's a lot of reasons why your divine counterpart is working through the social anxiety regarding your connection. There's insecurities and shadow aspects that are going to need to be healed because of how they've been treated in karmic situations, because of how karmic relationships have played out in physical when community has known about. So this is a really tender sort of message here. Okay, masculine, so you're going to have to walk away from things that no longer emotionally serve. And this is an inside job. Only you know what you need to process in order to be more normal in these scenarios, masculines. Okay, heart chakra, lunar progressor, emotional balance, compassionate non-attachment. So the heart chakra is balancing out. We've got telepathic connection here, and we've got humble strength. So yeah, there is a nice, this is why it's coming more into the physical, why there's a preparation to ground this, is because the heart space is balanced. I just heard there's no more unfinished business with the connections that are coming out into, and that means in that cycle, we are eternal and we keep processing applicable things. But as we're going into community on whatever this next level is, there is a balance in the heart chakra that precedes the next jump in experience. So right now, whatever the heart work was is being balanced. Let's have a look at what that is or was for the feminines. Yeah, transition. So feminines, you're not taking it personally anymore if things don't always move forward consistently. If things need to pause for processing to happen, you're taking that as a cue. You're not taking it personally anymore. You're coming through the idea that you're being rejected, and you're learning to really roll with the ebb and flow of relationship. That pulse is going to quicken when you're in union, in romantic union. You're going to have a faster cycling breath. It's not going to be such elaborate processing. What's the advice? You're almost there. You're almost through. For those watching, this life purpose is what you need to focus on. We were getting that Ace of Wands earlier. Stay the course on this purpose path and let those spacious times, you know, quicken towards union by enjoying them in your own right while they're happening, so that, you know, I said it earlier, time flies when you're having fun. When you can get jazzed about your life path, that's going to bring these times of transition and integration more smoothly, more quickly. If you utilize them for what they're meant for, what they're divinely intended for, it will flow a lot better. So that on the heart space has been kind of seen by the feminines, and now that tool in the toolkit is at your disposal to do that in more close proximity with your counterpart. So I'm seeing counterparts living together and, you know, asking for healthy space to work on an office project or to exercise or to, you know, have friend time. There's just this flow now where spaciousness does not equal rejection or something being wrong to process. It's a part of natural relationship. How are the masculines experiencing this balance on the heart space? So their balance on the heart space is causing them to want to draw closer to the feminine. So this is a bit of a out in the woods, pining, longing, feeling all alonely, I just heard. So instead of them filling with workaholism or activity, they're now saying, it'd be nice to have a little bit more time with my feminine. I've created such a spaciousness and independence and a discipline here, but now I think time is of the essence. I'm good enough. There's a drawing near. So masculines, your heart work was to cease the running and to warm up to the intimacy in these connections. Feminines, yours was to cease the chasing and to warm up to the spacious allowance in the connections. How masculine feminine of us all. What is the advice? Look at that. Transformation, death cards, and it's the yin yang. I love it when we get the inverted of each other, because I just see this fractal tumble across space. Death energy. Yeah. So masculines just, keep going through this necessary ending of the karma clearing and coming into alignment with the truth of your heart, wanting to spend more time with your feminine. Yes. What can we see on the solar plexus? Alchemy, metamorphosis, karmic completion. So there's an empowerment coming in where it's no longer out of ego. We saw the humility card for the feminines. I think we got it twice here, once for the masculines. But we also got leaving those third-party scenarios behind. So the disempowering karmic situations. That will resonate slightly different for the feminines and masculines, but that is what's being cleared here on the solar plexus. Sovereignty. This is my card of codependency free, and really letting it integrate that you have seen now, all the twins have seen, all the counterparts have seen how to remove codependency and the karma associated with codependency that holds us back and keeps us small. We've done that freeing motion, and let it sink in. You've had this growth spurt. Really affirm where you've been more codependent, karmic in the past, because karmic partners are codependent partners. Okay, let's be real. And so let that sink in, that you've cleared those things, counterparts, and really seek to bring consciousness to how you've cleared it. How far have you come? What did you used to look like? What are you now? And really affirm that. Know the ways that you particularly were codependent and have outgrown it, so that you can tell when you are still being karmic and when you have come into balance. If your motivations, your internal triggers, awarenesses have balanced out and you're truly not engaging in those codependent patterns that you were imprinted with, that you were acting out. See, when we're imprinted with karmic or codependent patterns as children, we try to detoxify those things by modeling that behavior. And in some ways, it brings consciousness to what it is, because we are met with unsavory results and we have to course correct. This generation of people doing these divine counterpart journeys are overnight, in one generation, throwing off the handcuffs, the shackles of codependency. And you all, if you don't know how you've been codependent and why relationships haven't worked in the past, whoa, go back to Codependency 101 and school yourself. Get on it, because the collective I'm channeling here has done that work and has seen how they've been, settling or wishful thinking or getting ahead of themselves emotionally and causing rocky waters, choppy waters, in relationship. But this is saying that the twins, the collective that joins me here, has completed that, and we can celebrate it, but we haven't fully seen how each of us have done that yet. And so just that conscious recognition is what's required right now. How are the feminines? Yeah, so the moon, subconscious stuff coming to light. There is a lot that's going to be revealed by this next full moon. And so just let that come to light. It's going to naturally integrate and be known to you. What is the advice? This is your long-term legacy. So don't focus on the material realm. And I'm hearing feminines, don't fixate on a physical relationship with the masculine. As information comes up from your subconscious, when the coast is clear and the deeper stuff is revealed to you, you'll see that all the things you've been led to focus on in the material realm have been beneficial, but they aren't the be-all end-all full picture. So the visions you've had about what's possible, it's going to be colored now by subconscious wisdom. So just let that natural process come to light. I'm hearing again, as you step more fully onto your life purpose, your life path, your service in the world, your contribution into the world, that each step you take in that rite of passage will unlock more of this deep ancient wisdom, this deep subconscious, the Akashic wisdom, that's going to give more meaning to the material pursuits. And you're going to see it on a multi-dimensional level, because it's not so much about what meets the eye. When you complete your karma, you are empowered on a soul level. We got those messages for the masculines with the energetic currency and the material realm currency. So this is a message like that that is mirrored with the feminines. What about the masculines here? Queen of Pentacles. So masculines are staring right at the mirror of their wifey energy in you, feminines, life partner energy. Like, they have become somebody that nurtures themselves. So masculines, you've embodied this self-nurture, the creature comforts. You now see your worthiness and you're looking straight into the mirror that is your feminine. They're the only person that loves themselves like you love yourself now, masculines. As you've cleared your karma, you no longer would put up with the karmic partner treatment. You will never jump through those hoops like you were groomed to jump through hoops in the past. That doesn't befit you anymore. And now you're seeing that your divine feminine is a perfect mirror for the amount of self-discovery and awareness and wholeness that you have come through your karmic rite of passage. What is the advice? Keep doing that inner work, focusing on that awareness of self. Open your mind to what you once thought was your end game and fate in this life, or goals, and consider a new approach. I just heard, consider a radical new opportunity in balanced, healthy love that maybe at first didn't resonate as something attractive in that way. You may have felt the chemistry, the sexual attraction, but you may not have seen how the connection could have worked in the physical. This is where you're getting the somber awakening that your feminine is actually on the soul level your perfect match, and that you can open your mind to a thriving vision of relationship because the codependency isn't there with this one. Snap. What is the sacral chakra for the collective? Subconscious awareness, Akashic information. So the sexual chemistry, we've got that coming in here as this subconscious stuff comes to light, feminines. You're going to see your sacred, intimate, sensual connection with your masculine in a new light. And likewise, masculines, it's been a time capsule for how this sensual energy and relationship energy could be found in the same person. You may have thought that your feminine would always remain in the spank bank. You may have thought your feminine would always be the one that got away. But now you're seeing how it could be all, how you could have that level of chemistry with your feminine and have relationship, because the karmic blinders have been taken off. I'm writing that down. Karmic blinders. Heck yeah. Okay. What can we see for added energy? Oh, there's the Wheel of Fortune again. So we're getting that divine timing thing. We had that right at the beginning somewhere. But as this subconscious stuff comes to light, the devil loses. The materialistic view of limitation falls away and divine timing comes in. So it's changing of the guards. Devil was here and devil changes, and now the Wheel of Fortune comes in. So that's just, we're watching growth in real time, everyone. Materialism, higher divine templates, right? The battle of the knowledge of good and evil. We're returning to the garden. What are the feminines experiencing? Knight of Swords. So I'm hearing keep it to yourself right now, feminine. So this is a bit of another message, and the guides are saying, tell the feminines again, don't divulge your next steps, your plans to just anyone in your life right now. Learn to be discreet. Learn to be discreet, feminines. Really meditate. Are you somebody that is appropriately discreet? That is a really big thing on this journey. Learning discernment in who and when and what to say, if anything, feminines. And your advice is surrender to just being sweet. And, I just posted a pose of myself doing yoga in the morning on the beach on Instagram. It was like this. It's like heart wide open to what will come was the caption I put there. And so you don't have to talk it out with just everyone. Sometimes when we're overly wordy, it's because we don't know the answers yet. come into the safety, drop into that connection to source for your guidance, but don't just hash out everything willy-nilly with anybody. Just surrender to trusting, observing, watching it play out, watching this changing of the guards, watching the subconscious get into the zen, into the flow of watching your reality reveal itself to you without having to force it, without having to call it, without having to gloat or boast or force or direct. Let it happen naturally. Feminines, go with the flow. What are the masculines experiencing? So that was with the sacral chakra. So that is a remedy for jealousy, tension, insecurity, competition. When you watch energy playing out, you see what really is. And if you can have radical acceptance to allow that, you can actually see what is for you and what isn't, what is for you at this time, and what you ideally are aligned with for the long term. It does the work for you when you can be objective, and you don't have to then expend so much life force energy clinging, longing, demanding, all that kind of stuff. What can we see for the masculines regarding this sacral Knight of Cups? So yeah, I'm just getting with this masculine pouring out this futile effort, that there has been a last-ditch effort with karmic partners, or, you know, I'm even seeing past relationships 3, 4, 5 times around. And they're finally saying, no more, I'm done, I can't. That is not my idea of fun. So masculines, you are still overcoming these karmic devil energies and seeing the light. The masculines have got to release those things and pour that sand out. There's sand in that cup, not even water. And then they can rise up and offer to the feminines. But right now there is a admission to yourself, masculines, that those karmic relationships, as much as they're a blow to your ego, were never meant to last, stand the test of time. What is the advice for the masculines? Oh, victory. This is that card of coming forward with public recognition of your counterpart. And so in whatever way that's going to look, the pressure's off. This can be a wedding proposal or a promise ring, crowning your feminine after having won the karmic battle. But this can also just be, you know, letting go of the old and not knowing where the future will lead, but just, you know, claiming that you want victory and you're only going to align with things that feel good and right and true to you now. So it can be a declaration of your independence here, masculines. What is the root chakra?